Canola first made its way into Canadian soil in 1974 and then south into the United States in the late 1980s and has become a staple of oilseed production across the world. As a broadleaf, farmers introduced it into crop rotations for its ability to be used for cleaning grass weeds from wheatland while still producing a cash crop. At one point, canola production was robust across much of the United States, reaching all the way down into the southern Great Plains, but most recently, canola production has centered in the northern part of the United States. And what better place to start this conversation about canola than North Dakota and North Dakota State University's Dr. Anitha Chirumamilla. Dr. Chirumamilla, just let's dive in. Tell me about canola production across your state.
Yeah, canola, I don't know how many of you know, but North Dakota is the number one producer of canola in US, and within North Dakota, Cavalier County is the number one county, or we have the largest acres of producing canola because the weather is so good in this area that is so congenial for canola production. It's a perfect fit for this crop to be grown in this area, and we have the farmers adopted it fairly quickly, and they've been growing since almost more than a decade, and it's been a fantastic crop in our area, giving us good yields and good profit.
Whenever a producer is thinking about moving into canola, what are some things that they need to be taking into consideration?
Um, I think weather plays a major role in this selection of the crop. Canola likes that cool conditions during its early stage of the crop. So I think that plays a very important role. And pH of the soil, the soil can be anywhere from medium to like clay, heavy soils. It does very good in those soils. Light soils and sandy soils, I don't think that would be a good one. Soil should be fairly, it does require a lot of nutrients, so fairly good fertile soils. pH is anywhere between 7 to 8ish. It doesn't like too saline soils or acidic soil. So it's kind of like that, neutral to a little on the about the 7 pH base. So it would do fairly between 6.5 to 8. So I think those are the conditions you need to look for, and it pretty much does very well in those conditions.
You're an entomologist by trade. What kind of issues do you see with insect pressure in the canola fields?
The most important and the most serious issue that we face in canola year after year is canola flea beetles, and this is the early season pest. Like right as soon as the seed kind of emerges from the seedling emerges from the ground, the flea beetles are ready to pounce upon on the cartledons, and they devour them. So we have a very serious problem with those flea beetles, and it's not just us. The country north of us, Canada, has been dealing with this issue a lot, and I think that's where they kind of moved into our area. As they find food, they kind of spread their distribution. So we've had this issue so long, and it's becoming worse each year because it's like um, ample food everywhere, and it keeps those generations continue every year after year after year. So that's a very serious issue for us early in the season, and we've been dealing with it. We are actually fighting a battle against it every year. But later, like as you move into the flowering and pod development, we have this migratory pest issue, the diamond backmoth issue. So that is a migratory insect which comes from south. Obviously, it doesn't overwinter in North Dakota. But so so the migratory pest issues are like, when conditions are favorable and when the thunderstorms happen, like early part of the crop season, that's when these moths fly in, and then they go through a couple of generations during the season and cause damage.
When it does come to combating the insect issues, what do you recommend for producers, not only in North Dakota, but other folks that may have the flea and the moth issues across the United States?
So for the flea beetles, our primary method of dealing with this insect is seed treatments. So we rely heavily on seed treatments, and I don't think any field in our area that is planted to canola doesn't go in without the seed treatment, because that's a must. That's a primary tool of protection for these seedlings. And we have different groups of chemicals that are available. We have the neonics, and there are two relatively new groups like diamides and butanolides that are available. So over the years, like for the first chemicals that we have relied heavily were neonics, and so we've been using them for more almost a decade, and that kind of put so much pressure on that group of insecticides that they kind of like now their effectiveness is kind of, the insects are kind of more tolerating those neonics, and they are not as effective as they used to be. But we have these newer modes of actions, and so seed treatments are our primary mode of defense. You can say like, okay, sometimes early planting doesn't go well with, because that coincides well with the peak of beetle emergences. So we say like, okay, don't go for early planting, like late, kind of hold on, and delay your planting, and that will help you avoid some pressure. So that's one of the tactics, but I think that is not working any longer in our area because we have so many beetles. But still, in areas that are new and like where a few acres, and you don't have that much pressure of flea beetles, delayed planting will certainly help.
Whenever it comes to disease pressure, there can be quite a bit of management whenever it does come to canola production.
um so for the diseases, yeah, definitely, crop rotation would be our main tactic that would help manage some of the severe diseases that we have. Like we have the white mold, which where the spores kind of survive in the crop residue. So you need to maintain that longer duration, so that that can subside the inoculum of the disease. And again, like another major disease in our area for canola is a clubroot, and it's a soil borne disease again. So all these diseases, like when once they enter into your field, they kind of like stay there, and it takes years and years to, I don't know if even it is possible to make a field completely inoculum free. So it's hard, but like we with the improved crop rotation practices, and then we have resistant varieties, suppose a blackleg and clubroot. We do have resistant varieties that will help with this. When you practice along with crop rotation, they do work well. And then we have fungicides for diseases like white mold, and uh, uh, there are fungicides that would help, but like for diseases like clubroot, there are no fungicides. So there are you have to use all the tools that you have in your disposal and use them wisely, know the disease and know their life cycle, and know which tools work for them and use them judiciously.
Especially in North Dakota, what are some of the crop rotations that work best with canola?
We are very fortunate to have very good crop rotations. We do like small grain broadleaf, and so we have like canola, wheat, and then go to soybeans, and then come back to wheat, and then like we have a very good crop rotation, and we have diversity in our in our crops that helps with not just diseases and insects, but also weeds. Is that you need to consider that factor too, that will help. And crop rotation is our best tactics to minimize many of the pest issues we have.
When do the seeds go in the ground, and when it's harvest?
Um, well, that is variable every year. Okay, let me start with that. Because I say that because this year we had a snowstorm in April. So it's like ours is so variable. So we had snow sitting on the ground for almost like late April. So sometimes you will be lucky that the as soon as the ground warms up, sometimes some years farmers have planted in late April. Because that's the history of growing canola in our area, is like get in as soon as you can so that you can take the advantage of that cool conditions. So that has been and the history. So the farmers used to go in as early as late April, but like now, when the conditions are not favorable and you have snow sitting on the ground, so you have to just push it back. And this year it was actually like in the second week of May.
Wow.
So it's like it's been pushed, and like our trials were planted on the third week of May, like May 21st was the day we planted. So anywhere from late April through June 5th is a cutoff date for planting canola insurance purposes in our area. So anywhere from late April to June. So that's our planting period. But like the harvesting goes up to September. Some this year it has been to October. So it's so variable in our area.
And you mentioned harvest. Do you run into issues with shatter in the North Dakota canola crop?
Definitely, that is one of our major issues. Used to be in the earlier years of growing canola. However, the technology and the breeding has improved the varieties. Like now, we have more shatter-resistant varieties that are available. When we say shatter-resistant, it doesn't mean like 100% shatter-resistant, but they've improved varieties. So in the earlier years, the main method of harvesting canola was swathing. Like we used to do the swathing, but now with these improved varieties, they are going for more straight combining because they are more resistant to shatter, and so that extends the harvesting time, and they can wait for the perfect time for combining, so that you will get a better quality seed, less green seed, all these better oil content of the seeds. So it's a improvement of the varieties, as well as like we the technology we have, like with the combining, straight combining. So so that in that way we kind of were able to minimize those shattering losses.
Are you conducting any research into the future of canola across North Dakota?
I am involved in testing the efficacy of those seed treatments, like or how are they still holding up, or like are just seed treatments enough? Is just one mode of action enough, or like we need seed treatments along with the foliar spray? So I'm doing that trial, and I'm very excited to share those results. We haven't analyzed the data yet, but we could get the preview of it, and like I'm so excited to share those results with our growers, because every year I get those questions, and I'm very happy that I have the first-hand information with me, that I have the research data right, that I've conducted right at this research centers, that I can share with the growers.
Well, thank you so much for going on with us to talk about canola production, not only in North Dakota, but then also to help producers across the United States. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Dave.